Welcome to the new TMZ Live, where we bring you inside our newsroom as our staff chases down today's stories in real time.
Welcome to TMZ Live. The war over the biggest loser continues, and it looks like Jillian Michaels has scored a victory of sorts.
She has an ally from season one, a guy you may remember, one of the Biggest Loser contestants, David Fioravante. And he talked to us about his experience. Now, we should say, it's not like he's saying he loved his time.
They hated each other.
Yes, he was not,
they hated
he was
each
not
other.
a fan of Jillian when he was on the show, but he has seen some of the allegations that have been made in this documentary, and he's seen Jillian's defense.
So you should know the documentary really does paint Jillian in a bad light. And they say, among other things, that she was feeding these contestants caffeine pills and it was prohibited on the set.
Right.
She is saying BS, that these caffeine pills were being distributed. There was a doctor on the show. They were being freely distributed. People were drinking caffeine, taking the pills, but she didn't, with the exception of one time.
She said she did give, but that was because an EP.
The EP told her
it's okay, go ahead and do it.
But otherwise, she said she didn't give caffeine pills.
Our Alexa spoke to David, and this is what he said about caffeine and Jillian.
She wanted me off the show. She knew or thought she knew that I was gonna go home, let it all go, give it all up, didn't deserve to be there to the end. You know, Dave's not taking this seriously, and that's the part that pissed me off. But I still wouldn't hold the grudge against her. I can only speak to my season, right? And the only thing we did that was a competitive edge that you could argue was maybe cheating is preparation H works in many ways, but one way people don't know is it takes and extracts water out of your skin. That was like the only thing that she gave us to do, which was the preparation H trick. It's definitely not like diet pills, those caffeine pills, or anything else they allege they did, not even in comparison.
Okay, I'm so blown away by the preparation H
The preparation H thing, I didn't know. Also, we'll just get it out of the way, and then we'll get to the substance of this. He looks like Stanley Tucci, right?
Oh, he does.
I thought he looked familiar.
No, he does.
Totally looks familiar. So he clearly, it sounds like he doesn't want to. This seemed reluctant, like.
Yeah.
But this was only season. This was only season
It was
one.
It was
season
only
one,
season
right.
one, so we can't talk to like the other seasons or other contestants' experiences. But as an enemy of Jillian, I mean, they went at it on the show. So for him to be like, yeah, she didn't give me caffeine
He's
pills,
saying right
and
is right.
Yeah,
right is
exactly.
right.
Now, hold on. So Jillian has been sending us emails.
Yes, because she said she has hundreds of emails, so she's ready to go to war with them.
Okay,
and
so
in fact, she is meeting today with the meeting she was supposed to have yesterday with Brian Friedman didn't happen.
The attorney.
Yes, it is
About
happening.
possibly suing Netflix, suing the
Correct.
producer.
That meeting is actually happening right now. So
Okay, so
she
Devin's got.
sent Devin an email.
Yeah, so she sent me obviously all these emails yesterday where they're talking about, you know, caffeine and coffee, but what she thinks is the smoking gun. In 2013, there's an email that a line producer sent to like the nutritionalists, all the trainers, basically all the people that are working with the contestants, saying here is an approved list of all the foods to give to the contestants, a grocery list that they were gonna get to basically use for the season. And let me know if you want anything added.
And this is a show list.
It has all the things
You
you'd
can show-
expect.
Yeah, you can show.
A lot of like really like, you know, healthy stuff. The important thing is she wanted to highlight drinks and beverages, coffee, ground dark roast, Starbucks ground coffee, all these teas,
So they're
all these things that have
caffeine.
caffeine in it. So she's like, for him to say,
Well, he said
that-
the caffeine pills, though.
but I thought he was saying it was 100% no
It was
caffeine.
eventually it was 100% banned from the show entirely because people were abusing the coffee.
What year is that?
So it
This is
depends-
that list
this is
from?
2013.
Okay,
So this
so-
was
What's
the
season
first season?
15.
Right.
That's her
Oh.
side.
So exactly, she's saying
So that's way into
So
the
that's
show
interesting,
run.
yeah.
yes.
Well,
So it
if
goes
that's
ahead.
true,
So the caffeine
when did
part
the
of
show
this
end?
just seems.
I actually don't.
When did the show
know
end?
When?
What was the last season of the show?
Look it up.
Because
20.
season 13, that's a long way into
2016. So it
So
ended a
3
couple
years
years
before,
later. A couple
they're
years
still
later.
they've got
And it
caffeine on
started
the
in 2004. So
right. So they've got caffeine on the grocery list.
I mean, this is just going to be a war between those two, going back and forth,
it's
and the rest of the people involved.
It's going to be a war of email because I'm waiting for, on the other side they're going to say, but we have emails saying this. But the caffeine thing seems like a done argument. Like,
It feels like there was caffeine on the set.
right. And Preparation H.
And Preparation H. Jeez.
Hey everybody, it's Denisha Valentine based out of Orlando, Florida, and this story is very interesting. I mean, the grocery list, like you guys said, it literally says that there's caffeine items on there, the Starbucks coffee, whatever the case is. So whose word do we take? Is it David, who is telling the truth and saying that none of this is true? Or is it the other contestants? But that also makes us question, what is their motive? Are they in this for the money? Are they in this because the series is out? If anybody felt like they were at harm or in harm's way or being pushed to consume things that goes against what their body needs, I think they should have had all right to just back out of the series. So I'm very interested to see how this plays out from enemy to now, having her back with David and Jillian. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
You raised a good point. I mean, we should point out we spoke to David. David was not part of the documentary.
Right.
So you are getting different stories from different contestants.
Well, the most interesting thing, frankly, is the grocery list.
Because the grocery list doesn't.
Right, it's neutral.
Although I do have one question before we move on. Did David say where they put the Preparation H?
Yeah, he said they rubbed it all over their body.
So you rub it
He
on
said
your
the
body
tubes
and
were
it takes.
empty.
What is Preparation H?
So you rub it.
It's like an ointment that's.
No, I'm being dead serious.
You'll find out.
Just look it up. You'll find out. Wait, what? Chris Martin says everybody got the whole Coldplay busting of the Astronomer CEO. They got it wrong. This was not a kiss cam, and he's seriously upset about that.
Oh,
I don't know about
please.
seriously.
Seriously upset. It's the best thing that happened to Coldplay
But he
in a long
finally
time.
addressed the big controversy at a Coldplay show last night in Hull, England. And they were doing the thing where they still do it, by the way. It's not like they stopped.
And everybody now ducks because it's the thing.
But he wanted to provide a little disclaimer and to explain why they've been doing it for all these years. It is not a kiss cam, so he says.
It's not a kiss cam. We've put one couple and then you're branded a kiss cam by the rest of your life. It's unbelievable. This is called a Jumbotron. And we've done this for a long, long time. And we pick people out to say hello. And sometimes they turn out to be an internationally massive scandal, sure. But most of the time we're just trying to say hello to some people. That's all. So, if you're not prepared to be on international news, please duck.
But the question is, then
They're just trying to say hello.
No. But then the question is, how do they pick the people that they decide to feature?
It's the camera person, people,
Right.
the camera operators
But-
are just
but-
going
but-
around the
This is
stadium.
Chris Martin not accepting responsibility that the Jumbotron ruins lives. It does. Think about it. Think about the amount it ruined these two people's lives. It ruins any marriage proposal. People get stuck in marriages because they get proposed to on a Jumbotron
No, actually,
and have to say
no.
yes.
That's actually that's a bigger thing.
Jumbotrons don't ruin lives.
They do.
People on Jumbotrons
God.
ruin lives.
No,
You
absolutely
got that
not.
from the National Rifle Association.
These two people could have just led their secret lives forever and been fine, but the Jumbotron ruined it.
The Jumbotron didn't ruin
It
their
didn't.
life.
The
Jumbotron
But wait a
just
minute, but
reveals
Katie
truth.
does have a point. That when they do these, are you guys engaged? Then one person feels obligated.
true.
It could literally
true.
ruin their
The
lives.
pressure you
it
feel
could
to
literally
say yes.
ruin their
Yeah,
lives.
You're stuck in a marriage forever because you had to say yes on a Jumbotron.
You sound really bitter.
Well, yeah, because I am anti-Jumbotron.
No, I actually agree
We
with
did
her.
it on the concert.
Were you proposed to at a concert or something?
I mean, I would have had to say yes.
It's a guy like 40 years older than you to boot.
They'd be sitting.
Okay, all right. We don't need to bring my husband's age into this Jumbotron. See? Ruins lives.
Hey, it's Patrick from Atlanta. And I really respect how Chris handled this. And he made it clear that his intent was to connect with his fans, not to stir up drama. One thing you got to think about it is, celebrities have been doing this for a long time. They have Jumbotrons, maybe at basketball games you have kiss cams and things like that. But, it's not as if he knew they were having an affair. It wasn't fair to him. The real takeaway here is, though, if you're having a high-profile affair, maybe not do it in a public place. Maybe not do it on the company dime, and take a little bit of accountability for it,
Based on what happened, with that couple, are you more likely, less likely, or unfazed about going to a Coldplay concert in the future?
I mean, I would say, you know, I'm an Apple Music Coldplay guy, so I'm probably unfazed. I probably catch him on YouTube or something like that. So I would say unfazed.
Unfazed. Okay.
He's not going.
Okay.
Coming up.
The mayor's race in New York City, one of the potential issues in this race is prostitution and the potential for that to be legalized in New York City.
I'm not quite sure how anyone can justify for a young boy or a young girl to stand on the street corners of our city.
Be right back.
Well, the mayor's race in New York City is one of the, although it is a local election in New York, there are people watching this all around the country for the reason, because of the candidates. And it is very interesting to see Zohran Mamdani, who very, very progressive.
Well, he's a socialist.
Yes, a socialist, running up against Mayor Eric Adams. And there's also the Cuomo factor in this, and whether Andrew Cuomo is going to stay in the race. To this point, he says he is, and how that will affect it. One of the issues, though, that potential issues in this race is very interesting because I think, one, because of the Diddy trial, people are looking at this, and also it's just one of those topics that always gets people's attention, and that is prostitution, and the potential for that to be legalized in New York City. It is something that Mamdani has talked about when he was a councilman, has not brought it up in the race yet. So, joining us right now with his stance on this issue and other things in the race is Mayor Eric Adams. Mayor Adams, welcome back to TMZ Live.
Thank you. It's been some time, you know, but it's good to be back on.
But nothing's happened since.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything, so we don't have much to catch up on.
So, look, you're against legalizing prostitution in New York City. Give your reasons.
It goes back to, you know, just really my entire life watching it, but particularly I was a captain in the 6th Precinct, Lower Manhattan. And I will watch these young teenage boys on the corner selling their bodies. You know, oftentimes when we think of prostitution, people think of women. But no, boys are selling their bodies. Sex trafficking is real. When you look at the STD crises we face, AIDS here was really ground zeros here in this city. And when you look at how far we've come, to stop the victimization of young boys and young women in prostitution, we can't go backwards. I know what Times Square looked like as a child, and I know what Pennsylvania Avenue looks like even now. And so this is not something we should play with. There's a lot of ramification for legalizing prostitution.
You know, one of the most popular platforms on social media is OnlyFans. And people have sex on OnlyFans. It is perfectly legal. You are pro-choice, which typically means my body, my choice. So I get your point about 14-year-old boys in the street. That should be protected. But why not allow women to make that choice, or men to make the choice if they want to use sex as a means of making a living?
As long as they're of age.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if they're minors, protect them. But why not allow people to have that freedom of choice and carve out an area like Amsterdam where the inevitable is going to happen, rather than making it illegal and picking up johns and arresting prostitutes and all?
Yeah, yes, and just a correction. I didn't say 14-year-old boys. I said boys, 19, 18,
but they're adults.
20, 21.
But they're adults.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure I was clear on my position is not only for 14-year-old boys, is men and women. A couple of things. When you look at prostitution and the ramification, I don't know if you see some of the red light districts in Amsterdam and some of the other countries that have these red light districts. You still have the exploitations, the violence. You still have the sex trafficking. And you also create a culture that young people believe that, hey, this is a viable occupation. And no, I don't believe that. And I'm sure that those that believe that there's nothing wrong with it. I do. Not only that, just to be real honest about it, I'm a Christian. I'm a person of faith, and nowhere in my religious text does it say prostitution should be an alternative. And it also, I don't see it in the Quran. He calls himself a Muslim. I don't see that in the Quran. And in fact, it is in contrast to the Islamic belief. Society should not create an environment where people believe in occupation is something that's harmful to them. But prostitution is harmful.
But you brought up religion. I mean, if you look at the Bible, they talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, yet you're for gay marriage. So it's not like you can't deviate from the Bible if it seems archaic. So why not allow women and men to have a choice the way they do on OnlyFans and choose how they want to make a living for their own lives?
Well, if you have two people who are in a consensual relationship, that is what they have a right to do, two people in a consensual relationship. I'm not quite sure how anyone can justify or feel it's okay for a young boy or a young girl to stand on the street corners of our city and sell their bodies when we know the history of what prostitution does. We know about the violence. We know about the sex trafficking. We know about the STDs. We know about how it brings down the quality of life. This is all knowledge. This is not something I'm making up. This has been part of New York's history that we had to correct. Why are we going back?
Right. Mr. Mayor, I'm wondering if you've had any conversations with Andrew Cuomo, because there are some people who believe that, policies aside, this is a really, let's say, I won't say impossible, but a very difficult race for either of you to win if the other remains in the race. Is there any conversation about one of you backing off? Because some people believe you're sort of handing this to Mamdani if you both remain in it.
Well, okay, first let's be clear on this. This is what New Yorkers who have to vote must understand. The die is cast. Andrew had about 2 weeks after the primary that he lost in double digits to get out of the race. He refused to do so. I spoke with him, and he refused to do so. The ballot is the ballot right now. My name would be on it. His name would be on it. Mamdani, Curtis Lewa, and one other candidate. We will all be on it. And so the conversation of someone backing out, that was already, that's passed. That's in our rearview mirror. What we must do now is look at the 2.5 million Democrats that didn't vote, 1 million independents that didn't vote, and 900,000 Republicans that's up. That is who we have to speak with and have them mobilized to come out and vote to stop Mamdani from becoming mayor, and really to stop Andrew from becoming mayor. He was very harmful to our city when he was governor, and we can't have a repeat of that. And lastly, let me tell you this. This distance from the primary, Mamdani was 1% of the poll, folks. 1%. This distant from the primary. And the day before the election, Andrew had a poll showing he was up by 10 points. He lost by 13 points. And so anyone that doesn't understand the uniqueness of this race is going to throw up their hands and say, hey, let's surrender. I'm a New Yorker. We don't throw up our hands. We get and roll up our sleeve and use our hands to succeed.
I want to just final thing, just because it's in the news so much. Would you roll up your sleeves and object if Donald Trump were to try and send the National Guard to New York City because he wants to tamp down crime, even though your crime rate has dropped?
Our crime rate has dropped. Our subways are the safest they have been, except for the first 2 years during, the 2 years during COVID-19 when no one was on them. We got this. We know how to keep this city safe. I knew it when I was a police officer, what we had to do. We did it then, and we're doing it again. We do need federal help on stopping the flow of guns in our cities across America. As you saw, we had a shooting at 345 Park Avenue. An individual got access to an AR-15, drove across our country and took the lives of 4 New Yorkers. And so I do welcome the partnership of our federal authorities in stopping the flow of guns. We meet every morning with our federal authorities and with something called HIDA. We meet with our state, federal, and city leaders to fight gun violence. And I think we could do more on the federal level. But when it comes down to showing the NYPD how to keep the city safe, we show other cities what to do. And so we're going to continue to do that. And I don't think we need to have any federal intervention.
Okay, Mayor, the country is watching. It is an interesting race. We appreciate the time.
Thank you. Great to see you guys.
Good seeing you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good seeing you.
Coming up.
Even Sydney Sweeney takes the loss every now and then.
Boy, this is a big L.
She had a movie that came out last weekend,
Americana. It is a bomb, a verified bomb.
But I will say this for Sydney Sweeney. She knows how to
divert
attention from said bomb.
Be right back.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Phoebe Rexa was looking hot on vacation.
Look at the water, too. Did you just say look at the water?
I mean, I'll be honest, that is what I was looking at. Even Sydney Sweeney takes the loss every now and then.
Boy, this is a big L.
A huge L, but I will say this for Sydney Sweeney. She knows how to divert attention from said bomb. She had a movie that came out last weekend,
Americana.
It is generous to say that it came out last weekend.
Yeah.
By Hollywood terms, because it only made $500,000.
It is a bomb, a verified bomb.
But enough about that, because Sydney, in her off time, when she's not making movies, decided she would try a little skydiving.
This is so smart that Sydney Sweeney has, her stock is really high. This movie did not help because obviously everybody looks at that. So she figured out the Trump way of diverting attention.
And I think this is the perfect way to do it.
With the help of the girls, I should say.
Okay, so that's Sydney in the plane.
Why do they have to do the crotch shot like that? Like, I feel like even the camera guy is totally in on this.
Okay, by the way, this guy is
the luckiest guy of all time.
His Instagram is crazy.
Now, why doesn't her jumpsuit fit? I don't understand. Why is it so...
You know you pick the outfit. It's not like they gave it to her.
Doesn't it zip up in the front?
It may. But people make choices. But the funny thing is, everybody's talking about the guy.
Hold on. Whoa. When you say everybody's talking,
everybody in the room was talking.
What you mean is you were talking about.
I was.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just funny. It's like he's married apparently.
Yep.
And so when he goes home, the question is, does his wife say to him?
What did you do today?
And was it exciting? I mean,
how could it not be when it's Sydney
She doesn't
Sweeney?
ask that question anymore, right? Because his job is exciting every day. So
right, but he doesn't. But he doesn't do this with Sydney Sweeney every day.
So she does probably just asked, "Oh, who'd you jump with today?"
But I will say, between American Eagle and skydiving and everything else,
and the soap that she had,
she is the best marketer
because she's doing so many other things. So that even when she has an Americana or a Charlotte's Web. Charlotte's Web?
She was in Charlotte's Web.
Not Charlotte's Web. What is it called?
Madam Web.
Charlotte's Web. All right, I went back to my childhood, okay?
God.
Sorry, Madam Web, whatever. She'd have been better off doing Charlotte's Web, I'll tell you that.
But, you know, there are only so many bombs you can have before the luster wears off.
And when you have bombs, fall back on cannons.
I think Sydney does a good job at diverting the attention from any bad press she's gotten in the last few weeks. I think that video that she put out of her skydiving is the perfect video kind of to divert everybody's attention and kind of get it back to like Sydney Sweeney, not my, past weeks of chaos. So I think she's did a good job at getting us and keeping our attention for these next few weeks and any projects to come.
Yeah, apparently he went to attention too.
Coming up.
Well, you better run to the Smithsonian Museum in D.C. President Trump, he's tired of, slavery. Let's bring in Michael Knowles.
All we ever hear is how terrible our country is and how the most important thing ever in our country is slavery. It's the defining feature. Racism, sexism, oppression. That's all you ever hear.
Be right back.
Well, you better run to the Smithsonian Museum in D.C. or really any of the Smithsonian museums. Sorry, not just Smithsonian. According to President Trump, it's all museums that are going to get the once over because he's tired of, well, slavery and the talk of slavery. So this was the big post he put on Truth Social last night. The Smithsonian is out of control, where everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. I have instructed my attorneys, whatever that means, to go through the museums and start the exact same process that has been done with colleges and universities where tremendous progress has been made, and then goes off about the country can't be woke because woke is broke. Look at that, you made a rhyme. That's cute.
It's on point for him.
It is completely on point. It is completely distasteful. And when I read this, the only thing I thought is, this is clearly just another
Epstein diversion.
Another distraction from, although now it could be Epstein he's distracted from, could be a bunch of other things. It has to be that. Otherwise, it's just freaking offensive.
But I don't think everybody agrees with you.
Maybe
When
not.
Michael Knowles, I bet, does.
Maybe not. Let's bring in Michael Knowles to talk about it from the Michael Knowles Show. Michael, welcome back. Going to the Smithsonian?
I'm going to wait a few weeks until they fix all the problems there. And then I look forward to going when the Smithsonian is restored to normal. You know, you guys made a claim.
Hold on.
Let him explain. Let him explain.
Restored to normal.
Let him explain.
First,
to normal?
I want to give you a little insider info you wouldn't have known otherwise. You said this seems like an Epstein diversion. I can tell you for a fact this is not an Epstein diversion, because I know for a fact that this has been in the works for a long time from the administration. I think it's a good thing that it's been in the works. The point that Trump is making is not about slavery. Everyone's focusing in on the word slavery. The key to what he's saying is everything. It seems like, and people of all races, of all backgrounds, all across the country know this, it seems like in recent years, all we ever hear is how terrible our country is and how the most important thing ever in our country is slavery. It's the defining feature, racism, sexism, oppression. That's all you ever hear. And it's false. It's very harmful to the country. It's a dishonest way of telling our nation's story. And people are sick of it. That's in part why they elected Trump in November.
I get it. Explain to me what parts of the Smithsonian go overboard with that. I mean, because the devil's in the details here. So I know he can make that statement, and I get the game, but what is it that's excessive regarding slavery in the Smithsonian?
Well, one big issue on the Smithsonian and on race and slavery is that the African-American history part of the Smithsonian is a terrible service to Black Americans because that architecture is so ugly. So this is a little bit of a digression, but Black Americans deserve better than that hideous building on the National Mall, and I hope that that's the next executive order. The next part of it, what goes overboard? What goes overboard broadly, I have not done a tour of all the Smithsonian museums in the last 3 or 4 years, but I actually have been somewhat recently, and what goes overboard is what goes overboard in the colleges and the universities and even in the pop culture. And you saw this broadly in the last 5 years. White fragility, the constant race hustling, the hucksterism, the race to dinner. Do you guys really believe that in America today, one of our big problems is we don't talk about slavery and all of America's sins enough? No, of course not. You know, even on the point of slavery.
Well, that's about Michael. But Michael, it's not about talking about it. It's about teaching people about it. Right? So what's wrong?
Don't you think people have been taught?
What's wrong? So I'm sorry. So we don't teach history in this country anymore. Is that?
No, we don't teach history.
And slavery is part of that history.
We don't teach history. This is Trump's point. We teach a very partial view of history, that America's evil and terrible to Black people and women and minorities and everybody else. But that's not the whole story of America. And this is why
it's not the whole. Nobody is saying it is the whole story, Michael. But it is part of the story. It is part of the story that deserves to be told.
That's why
to have the president saying that it should not be told, and we should just stop teaching it now because we've taught it for 20 years, so we don't need to teach it anymore.
He never said that we
offensive.
shouldn't stop mentioning that there's slavery in America. But the full story of slavery in America is that slavery existed in America for a very short period of time relative to other nations on earth, many of which still practice slavery today. The other story is that 600,000 Americans died to resolve that question and abolish slavery. And so this is what I mean about the partial view of history.
How many more hundreds died after slavery was abolished? How many more thousands died? You're talking about numbers. You're talking about numbers from the Civil War. I'm talking about numbers from Jim Crow. How about that?
Sure. No, look, there were sadly a small number of people who were killed in racial strife. A relatively small number, though. We're talking hundreds and thousands, not hundreds of thousands. But furthermore, today in the world, in the Middle East, you have widespread slavery, especially in Arabia.
Well, no. You're not going to move the goalposts.
In East Asia, you have
We're not going to move the goalposts. We're not talking about slavery in the rest of the world. We're talking about it in this country. That's what we're talking about, Michael. Don't do the thing where you move the goalposts and say, there's slavery other places.
I'm trying to explain to you.
I know that there's slavery other places in the world even today, and that it was
in Africa very widespread, in Asia very widespread, in the Middle East very widespread. Do we say that slavery defines those places? Of course not.
Okay, well, I want to go back to something because you didn't answer my question. Trump said there was too much talk about slavery.
Yeah.
And I understand you're not saying we shouldn't teach it. You say it's excessive. I'm going to ask again. There's got to be something other than
what's going to change in the museum,
other than dog whistling, that you can point to in the Smithsonian that is too much. I've not heard an example from President Trump. I'm not hearing an example from you
or his attorneys.
What is it that is too much in the Smithsonian to sick his lawyers on the museum?
Well, Harvey, look, I think it's totally dishonest to say we have to point to this exhibit or that
exhibit.
Point
to, no, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
Michael, I'm sorry. It is not dishonest to say that. That's the whole point. He's saying there's too much. I want to know, what is he talking about other than dog whistling?
It's not dog whistling at all.
Is he talking about
It's not dog whistling at all. He's making a very clear point, which is why he ties it to the colleges and the universities. So because no one who's watching right now, including none of us, have been to the Smithsonian in the last 6 months or a year, what he's
I've been to the Aerospace Museum 100 times.
I think the Aerospace Museum is fine. They probably don't talk about slavery that much. But the Museum of American History, the Museum of African American History, the broader historical teaching in our country obsessively focuses on that. And the story of America is much broader. And so the point on this, too, when people are presenting it as though Donald Trump is trying to erase history or something, we're entering into the bisesquicentennial, 250th anniversary of America. We are trying to make America great again. All nations have stories that we tell ourselves that are grounded in fact, but focus on certain things. And over the last 5 or 6 decades, thanks to critical theory, the theory being to criticize, there has been a marked uptick in focusing on all the supposedly terrible sins of America. This has been documented by sociologists, especially since the 20-teens, and that is excessive, and it tells a false and dishonest story of America. And so what Trump is saying is, look, the people elected me because of cultural issues, because woke is broke, because these critical fictions about America have gone too far, and so I'm going to correct that, and I'm going to tell the proper story, which is what most people elected me to do.
Okay.
So I just want one last thing, Michael. So we should just go ahead and close the African American Museum in D.C., right?
No, we have to rebuild it. One of the great injustices to black Americans is how ugly that building is.
Don't talk about the architecture. I'm talking about the museum and what is actually in the museum. We don't need any of that anymore,
Trump isn't talking
right?
about closing the African American History Museum.
I mean,
although what I would
get rid of
suggest
slavery,
is, I do think it's kind of offensive to say that black Americans don't get to be part of the full American History Museum, that we have to ghettoize black people and put them into their own separate little category as though they're not American. I do find that offensive. It was pushed by the left, and we have to deal with it. At the very least, we could give them a neoclassical building, though.
Okay.
I'm going to ignore a few words that were spoken there just for sake of...
I'm going to be the referee here. I'm going to be the referee.
Peace, but
agree to disagree.
American. Call me crazy.
No, we're not going to call you crazy. We are not going to call you crazy. At least I'm not going to call you crazy.
Yeah, hold on. Half of you might not call me crazy. I don't know. Hold on.
Okay, Michael. We will talk soon. And look, I love that we have a vibrant debate. By the way,
we do.
You can catch Michael.
Yes, on the Michael Knowles Show. Check it out.
And I might see you at the Smithsonian before the next one. We'll see.
Not if I see you first.
Let's see you, Michael.
See you guys.
Coming up.
Michelle Obama is opening up about Barack Obama having difficulty
hijinks
with one of their kids.
Be right back.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Michelle Obama is opening up about some difficulties in parenting. Although it doesn't sound like it was her difficulty. It sounds like she was laughing at her husband, Barack Obama, having difficulty
hijinks
with one of their kids. She was on her podcast. She had Dwayne Wade and Gabby were on as guests. So they were talking about parenting and different parenting skills. And she revealed something about Malia and really about Sasha also, and how they interacted with
I haven't
former
seen
president.
I haven't seen this, so I want to see this.
This is really interesting. Check this out.
Our oldest, Malia, is very much she's going to figure out who you are, what do you like, and let's discuss. She would tell me, I'm going out this weekend, but I'm going to go in and give Dad like 15 minutes. And she'd go into the treaty room and tell me about Syria. Oh, wow, really? Oh, that must be, and then she'd be like, okay, well, I'm gone. Barack would come out of the treaty room going, well, I just had an amazing conversation with Malia. And Sasha is like a cat. She's like, don't touch me, don't pet me, I'm not pleasing you, you come to me, And Barack's like, well, she's difficult. I was like, no, the first one was a pleaser.
A pleaser, otherwise known as the first one played you.
Yeah, the first one played you.
The first one totally played you like a fiddle, and you didn't even know it.
She throws shade at him every week.
She really does.
She throws shade at him.
This guy
every week she does this.
The first one sounds like a politician. It sounds like Malia knows how to manipulate people and get her way, whereas Sasha's like a bull in a china shop. She just is sort of full steam ahead. You're going to like me on my terms. I'm not going to read you or try to play you in any way. Malia, I would say, is more cut out for politics. You can't.
Do you know what the topics are going to be?
Do you know who they are? It just occurred to me. I hadn't heard this soundbite.
The honeymooners?
No. You know who they are? They're Sonny and Cher.
Oh,
they are
where they're
Sonny
playing out
and
their
Cher.
domestic disputes broadly before an audience, and we're all eating it. It's actually not a bad call.
And
I see it.
Yeah.
And they
I'll allow it.
And they developed this whole thing in nightclubs, in small nightclubs when they were on the skids.
Well,
but they're Sonny and Cher.
Where Sonny was the put-upon husband, and she was the glamorous wife,
and that he was the butt of the jokes.
Yeah, yeah.
They're Sonny and Cher.
I mean, except that he was the president of the United States, and Sonny and Cher had a variety show. But other than that,
he was a congressman.
He was a congressman.
He was a congressman.
I forgot.
He was a mayor also?
He was a mayor of Palm Springs, and then he was a congressman.
Right. I forgot about the political dimension.
See?
It actually is right.
See?
We would like it to end differently, but yes, I see the metaphor.
Right. Begrudgingly, we got to give him credit for that one.
Guys, Alana Nicole coming from Los Angeles, and Barack Obama having parenting issues gives me like utter joy. As a parent myself, hello, is so relatable. Try negotiating with a teenager as to why dirty dishes do not belong underneath your bed. Forget nuclear codes, that's the real struggle. It just feels so good to know that Barack and I have a trauma bond.
Oh God, a trauma bond. That's funny.
Coming up.
Nicholas Hoult, big-time Hollywood star. He's Lex Luthor in the new Superman movie. Got a taste of the NFL, and sounds like he really, really likes it. We got Nicholas here in LA and asked him about his NFL experience and the possibility of the Super Bowl
in London.
Going to London.
Be right back.
Well, this is going to put a huge smile on Roger Goodell's face because Nicholas Hoult, big-time Hollywood star, he's Lex Luthor in the new Superman movie, got a taste of the NFL, and sounds like he really, really likes it. He went to a Steelers game and actually got to interact with Aaron Rodgers, their quarterback. And we got Nicholas here in LA and asked him about his NFL experience and the possibility of the Super Bowl
in London.
Going to London. Check this out.
You just went to the Steelers game.
Yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Are you a big football fan?
Not particularly. I grew up in England. Pittsburgh was an awesome city, man. We had a good time there. And the Steelers game was great. Yeah.
You looked like you were excited on the sideline from the pictures I saw.
Yeah, it was cool. And I got to meet. Well, I met Aaron Rodgers before, but I got to say hello to him.
You think he'll be a nice addition?
I don't know anything about football. I can't comment on.
Well, there's
so he's one of the best ever, right? So of course
it has to be an upgrade. It has to be.
Yeah.
The UK ambassador to the US is petitioning that London be considered as a location for the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I'm wondering, do you think that the fandom down there would embrace that?
Yeah, I'm sure they would. I know the Steelers are going to have a game in Dublin, so that would be fun. It's good when they do international games, right?
What do you think?
I hate the idea, and I hope it never happens because I think this is our game. But there is a real.
What do you mean our game?
It is.
We stole soccer.
Yeah,
what?
Well, we did.
Nobody by and large cares about
American
soccer.
football is unique.
What are you talking about?
In America.
Our version of football is a uniquely created here, and it is.
And I get it, Charles.
Here.
Like the NFL wants to make even more money. It's embarrassing how much they already make, but they want to make more money.
You sound like a socialist.
No.
You sound like a socialist.
Wow.
Well, you sound like a socialist. What are you talking about?
Let's go, Mandami.
The NFL's made too much money.
Yeah, I'm voting for Mandami. No, they already have games in Germany, in Mexico, in London. The Super Bowl, that's a bridge too far here.
So let me ask you something. You're a huge UFC fan.
Yes, I love the UFC.
UFC was America-centric, and now it's all over the world.
Yeah.
Dana took it all over the world.
Yeah.
Okay,
but fighting is America doesn't have
But Dana created the UFC experience, and now he's brought it over to other people.
I get that.
You got a problem with that?
No, I don't, because fighting is global. Again, football is an American sport. I don't.
And you can't compare the Super Bowl as an event.
Yeah, it's an American holiday. You can't have it in.
Just think about the win.
They're talking about having a team in Europe, right?
I think that will
having
happen,
a team in
Charles.
Europe.
Yeah.
If you have a team there,
then you can have a Super Bowl there.
The Super Bowl.
That's
like,
right.
Every time someone opens a new stadium,
Babcock, you can eat fish and chips in the stand.
I'm not a fish and chips kind of guy. I'm more of a chicken tenders kind of guy. I can deal with it if they have a team.
Hi, it's Neville from England here. It's so nice to see, a movie star like that turned into a civilian who was starstruck. Meeting Aaron Rodgers, absolutely incredible. He's the star of the movie Superman, the new movie, and he's completely and utterly humble and down to earth.
So you're a Brit who likes American football, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. See, and if the Super Bowl were played in London, you would want to go to the game, right?
Absolutely.
Look at this. We're already selling tickets for you, Goodell.
It's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna happen.
Coming up.
Well, Stephen A. Smith might want to reconsider who he invites onto the set of his podcast. Whoever booked his daughter, I don't know if it went the way that Stephen A. thought it was going to go.
Be right back.
Well, Stephen A. Smith might want to reconsider who he invites onto the set of his podcast. Whoever booked this guest, his daughter, Samantha Smith, I don't know if it went the way that Stephen A. thought it was going to go. Check out her critique of her co-host.
This is it for this edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show with Samantha A. Smith and Stephen A. Smith. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yes, his forehead still has space left, you guys. There will always be space. No, he cannot afford a hair transplant. Keep watching so he can afford it. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back next week, probably. Don't miss me too much. Go follow my Instagram at official.SamanthaSmith. I also have another Instagram, and maybe I'll let you in there if you guys find it. Keep on the lookout. Thank you guys so much. Have a blessed afternoon, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Was that good?
She inherited
from her father's cloth.
Oh my God, that's him.
She just dominated the whole
amazing.
Shamed him, and
by the way,
bring your daughter to work.
Do not be surprised if he is the Democratic nominee for president in 2028. Do not be surprised.